Hello everyone, and thank you for another video that I'm putting together. This is Danny. This video is about updates. And when I say updates, I want to tell you what's going on multiple things that are happening on our end, so you are informed and updated and stays up to date with the different things that we are working on. I want to talk about mainly two things, and that is property management and leasing activity in St. Louis, and also property management in Kansas City, okay? I'm gonna talk about those two in a moment. Before I talk about those two, I do wanna update you about a couple of other things. Number one, May 8th, Thursday, May 8th, 2025, I'm putting together a live in the room together event that we can actually shake hands, so not a virtual event, in Irvine, California. So that means if you are in Southern California, LA, Orange County, San Diego, and that area, or you're visiting around May 8th of 2025, let us know, or just go on our website, SimplyDoIt.net, and register under the event sections, right under the event sections, and I hope to see you there. I'm excited just because I have not had an in-the-room live event for such a long time, so it's kind of exciting to do that all over again. I've done a lot of in-the-room events, but it's been a while. So I'm hope to see you there. By the way, I'm going to talk about more beginner stuff and steps related to beginners, and I am very excited that because I invited a friend. His name is Joe. Joe is very experienced real estate broker, agent, investor. He's going to talk about market updates. The guy is knowledgeable. The guy is experienced, very soft-spoken, very style of sharing and not sales pitching whatsoever. Very honest, very kind of straightforward answer. So I like his style very much, and I'm excited to have him speak at that event as well because he has a lot of wisdom and experience to share. So Joe will be there. I will be there. We'll do a little bit of networking. So SimplyDoIt.net and click on events, and we'll see you on May 8th. Now, second thing I want to update you is that as we speak, we're putting together, I'm working on a deal, I've been working on it for quite some time, of brand new single family homes in different parts of Florida. When I say brand new, it's 2023 and 2024 built. We have multiple areas. Some are near Orlando, some are more south of Tampa. Those are built recently to a higher building standard codes, so it's kind of recent. That's good, that's important. And when you buy them, you will get them with a tenant inside, right? So the whole part of the deal is that those properties are tenant occupied and they're cash flowing, and nicely, they're not amazingly cash flow, they're nicely cash flow, and they're coming with equity. So we're able to negotiate a bulk deal to buy them below market value. You will be a beneficiary of that if that's of an interest to you. If that is of an interest to you and you kind of want to get ahead of the list, so to speak, let us know so we know you are interested in something like this. Again, brand new 2023, 2024 build, tenant occupied, below market value, right? So this is just to show you signs of the time we are in, of the times. Now, I want to talk about property management because that's always been a sore point in my business, in your operation, and we at SimplyDoIt, there's not a week that I deal with something related to property management one way or another, and we keep doing improvement and changes and bringing new teams. And I want to both tell you, update you, and educate you about a couple of things. Let's start with St. Louis. There's two exciting things that are happening in St. Louis right now. We have been working with one property management company for quite some time, and they are okay. The problem with this group is that communication is always, or not always, but it's been a challenge, right? Getting answer takes time. Getting them to get back to you takes time. There's not issues beyond normal issues with the core management, but it's kind of been of challenging with the communication. So we added a new team. So we have a new property management, in St. Louis. However, we also added another function in St. Louis, and it's been working well. We just got started, but it's already showing to be working well. And that is what we call a leasing specialist. What is a listing specialist, you ask? Well, you may have heard me talk about me launching in August of 2024, 𝗁𝗁. 𝗁𝗁 is our ecosystem for owners like you who want to self-manage, meaning not use property managers, but still be in a more supportive environment so they're not completely overwhelmed. 𝗁𝗁 is technology, and more. It's not just technology, and the whole point of 𝗁𝗁 is to be able to help those of you who want to be have more transparency, have more hands-on with their properties and less depend on property manager, gives you the proper and better foundation and setting to do it this way, right? So 𝗁𝗁 is already up and running. I'm using it. We have several clients that are in the process of transitioning. It takes some time to terminate one property manager before you can move to another setting. Part of 𝗁𝗁 is I created a new function. I call it listing specialist. That means I have people that not only focus on leasing, right? So that means they may do other real estate activity, but they're not property management and they're not under a property manager, and they focus on leasing and have expertise with leasing. But that was not enough for me, because what I have done as part of setting up 𝗁𝗁, I took the entire project, the entire aspect or facet of ownership that's called leasing. I did a reverse engineering on that. I broke it down into components and tasks and mini tasks, reorganized it, reshuffled everything, and created a way how I think leasing should really take place, especially between a current and next tenant, right? Now, all the listing specialists, that I am hiring in the different areas, they have to kind of go and review the protocol that I created to tell me and that they're comfortable with it. All of them are not only comfortable with it, but are actually one way or another using a similar protocol. In a way, that means the listing specialist is taking more responsibility than just your traditional listing function, and they are more involved in the whole leasing process from before a tenant moves out to after a new tenant moves in. And we started doing it. The first listing specialist is already up and running. She's very nice, she's very friendly, she's very on the top of things in St. Louis. We do have another listing specialist available as we speak in Kansas City and in Houston at the moment, and we are going to line up more listing specialists as the need comes up. So that function works and operating, and I'm very happy because it is already showing signs of improvement. Bottom line, quicker leases. Bottom line, quicker leases with more transparency. How nice to have that. We know that's not always the case. So that's what's happening in St. Louis. I want to switch over to Kansas City. In Kansas City, we have the traditional property management company we've been working with, for many years. And you know what, guys? I'm very happy. I love those guys. For the most part, there's always challenges, but I have, except for a period that they were going through some growing pains, it's been very quiet, very minimal complaints. So we are happy with them. That being said, I always like to have a secondary property management company because sometimes relationships don't work, or sometimes there's friction or whatever. So I always like to have a secondary property management company, and we did have one for a while in Kansas City, but that relationship did not work out, primarily because that company started making changes. And I'll talk about some of those things later on. And we didn't like those changes, or it was business changes and fees changes and communication changes, and all of a sudden owners start complaining there's a lot of issues with that property management company, and we decided to move away from that company and bring in someone else, and we do. So that means we have a new secondary property management company. And I got to tell you that in the past year or two, I started looking into more and more other aspects of the business relationship of our clients, you guys, with the property management companies, and making sure that things that we saw that are not working well are reflected in those contracts that they're signing with you. One of those items as an example, is being the termination, right? If you're not unhappy, how soon or how, not soon can you terminate, and what penalties are included. So we want to make sure it is fair to you, especially when you have a problematic property management performance, right? So there is a new relationship in Kansas City. Their fees are, I want to say better than the primary one. If you want to switch, by all means, let us know. If you want to stay with this one, that's fine. Now I want to talk to you about something that I'm seeing in the property management industry that you may not be aware, or even if you are aware, I want to make sure you know or understand it can impact you as an owner. And what I'm talking about is I see that some property management companies are charging high fees from the applicants or the tenants, okay? Now you can say, why would I care? I don't care, it's not up to me. Well, you should care, because if you have a property management company that's making it more difficult on a monthly basis, or even to get into a house on an applicant or a tenant, guess who's getting impacted? And let me give you some examples. I don't see it a lot, but every once in a while I see a company saying there is a tenant onboarding fee. Could be $200, could be $300, could be $400, right? Tenant onboarding fee. Very rare to see in our industry. It does exist, and also very rare to see when it's a higher dollar amount. That means if I'm a tenant, I can go to this house and I get this no fee onboarding. And I'm not talking about application fee. Application fee is common across the board. Any property manager will charge. Most are around $50 per adult. Some companies charge higher than $50 and collect that difference into their pocket, so that betters them on the tenant expense and in a way on your expense. But you know what? That's fine, or not fine, but we can live with those few extra dollars. However, if you have a company that's charging a higher onboarding fee compared to the competition, that may result with a longer vacancy. If you have a company that's charging additional monthly fees from the tenants, and sometimes those fees are even higher than the average, guess who's going to be impacted? So what I'm trying to say is this: check with your property management, see what fees they're charging the tenants. You know what? I'll make it easy for you. Go to your listing, your property listing when it's vacant, and review that listing. By the way, it's healthy to do anyway. And check to see if the listing looks okay, and the photos are okay, if the description is okay, and then see what kind of fees they charge, because they are disclosing those fees. At least I hope they do. And then all of a sudden you will see that there's other fees, that you're not even aware of. And in a way, they are impacting you. Because if I'm a tenant and I have this house and I have this house, and this house comes with all those extra fees, which by the way already scares me a little bit, and this house doesn't have all those fees, maybe only one of them, actually going to end up paying less here than here, right? In a way. And this is maybe $1,500, and this is also $1,500, but with all those fees, it's more like $1,600 or $1,650 versus $1,500 here. That is impacting you, all right? So I suggest you check, either ask, or better yet, go to your listing, check and see what's going on, and based on that, make a determination. Should you stay with that property management company? Because if they are, some of those companies, when you challenge them about those fees, their answer would be, well, we don't have a problem listing the properties, as you can, we don't have problem listing properties. The fees are not really interrupting. And my answer, or my follow-up question would be, this is interesting, because my house has been vacant for 3 months. So how can you say it's not? You don't know that, right? Now, if the fees are there and it's listed very quickly and you don't care about it, that's fine, stay. But if the fees are there and it is impacting you without anybody really able to say if it does or doesn't, you may want to rethink that. So in a way, pay attention to those things. It is impacting you, and it is impacting your vacancy or quick, listing cycle. As always, we are here to answer your questions. You can put a comment here. You can subscribe if you didn't subscribe just yet. You have to subscribe even to watch this video. Put your comments, get in touch with us regarding changing property management company, or even asking. We have a very clear protocol how to go through the process of terminating one and switching to other. If you want to actually consider switching to Resi and self-manage, we will help you evaluate if it's the right thing to you. We have a lot of experience with those things as well, and are here to help you, navigate those challenges. I do want to tell you, if it's not clear, We put a lot of time personally, a lot of time into those things as well. The property management, the relationship with the property management, the fees, the processes, the protocol. There is every week there's something that we are working non-stop to improve, so you will get better service, so you will get better, so you can do better in cash flow, everything. So you can see, I'm just talking here for 16 minutes and probably 14 minutes has been on improvement on property management, changes to property management, things that you can do in property management. But remember, none of what I'm doing is even relevant if you're sitting there and doing absolutely nothing about it. If you're unhappy and you're not doing anything about it, because I know there's a hustle and a headache and who wants to deal with that, then there's nothing much that we can do. But if you do want to make change, we will help you make those changes if you want to. Thank you very much for watching. I hope those updates are relevant. You're always welcome to follow up with questions to us, of course. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking 17 minutes. Have a terrific rest of your day and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.